G'day viewers, the end of another week, which means it's time for Totally Fucked Up Friday. And to head off the questions, yes, I cut my hair and coloured it. And yes, I'm wearing a skeleton onesie. And it even glows in the dark. But the lights are on, so you'll have to take my word for it. Actually, I always forget that this glows in the dark. And then I switch the lights out in the room and... yeah, I mean... it happens, and I should not wear this when I'm drinking, is what I'm saying, because it's more than a little off-putting, suddenly catching my glowing reflection in a mirror, like in the bathroom when I switch the light off. It is not good, is what I'm saying. Speaking of not good, yes, for the 11 millionth week in a row, I may as well be calling this video what fucked up thing has the Australian federal government done this week, or a minister or representative thereof. And there's a few to pick from. I talked about Joe Hockey recently and how he's saying, I'm sorry I said poor people suck. It got really weird, actually. What happened, he said this really awful glib statement about it doesn't matter that I'm increasing tax on fuel because only rich people will be affected. Poor people don't have cars, or if they do, they don't drive much. And people went, will you stop talking about poor people like there's some sort of zoological exhibit, you evil fuck. And he spent about 2 days going, oh, I just said what's true. I'm not sorry. But then when even his own party was saying to him, you're fucked, mate. After a couple of days that he goes, oh, I'm sorry, but he did the typical politician non-apology. I talked about this before. How he said, I'm sorry you're upset. He's like, you know, he's not actually sorry for what he said. He's just sorry people got pissed off that he said it. But what happened after I talked about it, and after another couple days, he actually took his apology back. Because I think he thought his fake apology would make everything better. And when it didn't, he's like, a couple days later, he's going, well, I apologise. Does everyone love me and want me to be Prime Minister? No, they still think you're a cunt, Joe. He actually took his apology back. He was on a radio interview. He goes, oh, I'm not sorry at all. You know, I was just saying the truth. It's like, even by politician standards, this guy is a fucking asshole. And it just blows my mind that he thinks that he deserves some sort of respect when he just talks shit. But it's the company he keeps, I think. Like our Prime Minister has been spouting this shit all week. He's talking about Team Australia. If you come to Australia, you've got to be on Team Australia. You know, in other words, you've got to do what the white people tell you to do. Now, I've talked before about when people migrate to a country where they speak a different language, I think you're doing yourself a massive disservice. That is the one thing I'd say. And you do occasionally run into people in Australia, depending what suburb you live in, you might run into a lot of people who don't speak a lot of English. And rather than going, oh, damn you, learn English, I just go, you're making your life really fucking hard, and I don't get why you would move here and not learn English. I think, that's just not something that makes a lot of sense to me. But when Abbott starts going, Team Australia, just like, yeah, team, go fuck yourself, mate. It's just mind-blowing how many ridiculous, inane things this fucking idiot can come out with. It seems to be endless because he just keeps coming out with them. It started to get amusing towards the end of the week when Abbott was asked in an interview, like, well, you keep trying to sell your budget and it keeps not working, and things that you want passed are being blocked in the Senate, and you said if any of your bills got blocked in the Senate, you'd call a double dissolution election. New election, everyone gets to vote again. You gonna do it, Tones? Are you gonna do it? Is he fuck? He knows that his party would get creamed in an election. They have fucked everything so much. I have never seen a government go from, woo, we're coming to power, woo, to down the shitter in such short time. Like in the first 6 months, everything was downhill. It's really quite mind-blowing how much they fucked up. And Abbott, he just, again, the way these guys will just lie as a matter of course astonishes me. Abbott's going, I think the last thing the Australian people want is another election right now. News for you, fucko. I'm pretty sure a significant majority of the country would like an election pretty fucking sharpish. In fact, the newspaper article that ran this interview, their online bit had a poll. Hey, do you want an election? 96% of respondents said, yeah, election. Now, that's not scientific. Yeah, big asterisk on that. It's not scientific. That doesn't mean 96% of the entire voting population wants an election. I'd be willing to bet it's way over half, though. And so with Abbott just going, I think the last thing that people want is an election. No, the last thing you want is an election, because you'd be out on your ass and you don't want to apply for 40 jobs a month as any more than anyone else does. So you probably should try shutting the fuck up sometime soon. But I do want to say, for all the fuckery of the Liberal Party, a late runner for Fuckwit of the Week, and in fact a clear winner, is not even in the Liberal Party. He's sort of got friends in the Liberal Party. It's one George Pell. He used to be the Catholic Archbishop of Sydney, and he got promoted recently. He's off in the Vatican these days. He's a prince of the church these days. He's very important. And we are currently having a royal commission, an investigation into child sexual abuse and the way that various institutions did or didn't respond to it. And very sharply in focus is the Catholic Church, with the decades and decades of sexual abuse and cover-ups. And when Pell testified via video link, what's going to happen? See, people who have talked to him in the past, people who themselves or family members have been victimised by Catholic priests, and Pell was talking to them, people have said things like, he appears to have a sociopathic disregard for the people who have been abused by Catholic priests. Has he learned? Has he learned he should take this more seriously? He should at least fake caring about people, because this is a royal commission. This is the most serious judicial investigation you can have in Australia. What did he say? He said, no, it's absolutely ridiculous that you should hold the Catholic Church responsible for individual Catholic priests sexually abusing children, just because the Catholic Church covered it up, moved them around, made the life of the victims hell, and denied that it was even happening for ages. Just those reasons. No, because what Pell said is holding the church hierarchy responsible would be like if there was a truck driver who sexually abused a woman, you held the trucking company responsible for what the truck driver did. That doesn't make sense, he said. That doesn't... And people's jaws just hit the floor that he could say something so fucked. And he clearly doesn't understand how he comes across when he says things like this. And I think I need to raise a few points with you, George. First, you are a disgusting, festering pile of excrement. You suck. You are fucking awful. You are a terrible, terrible excuse for a human. I just needed to get that out there. But also to help you with your analogy about the truck and the truck driver and the trucking company, and you saying the Catholic Church is the trucking company, that analogy is only accurate if the trucking company was specifically responsible for the safety and well-being of children, and when the trucking company found out that a whole bunch of their truck drivers, not one, but a whole bunch of them, were sexually abusing children in their care, instead of firing the driver and reporting to the police and looking after the abused children, you actually just moved the truck drivers to a different route that went to different cities where people didn't know they abused children, so they would put their children at risk again, where the truck drivers then went on to abuse children again, and you still didn't fire the truck drivers. You still didn't get the police involved. You still refused to compensate victims. If you put all those things together, that makes the Catholic Church a trucking company.